But first, we've got a few holy mackerel stories in today's news. Quote, I don't think it's inconceivable that she could be the Republican nominee for President of the United States. I think it's almost inconceivable that she could be elected President of the United States. That's a direct quote from Steve Schmidt, the campaign manager for the McCain-Palin presidential campaign last year, today saying exactly what he thinks about Sarah Palin.
I think that she has talents, but my honest view is that she would not be a winning candidate for the Republican Party in 2012. And in fact, were she to be the nominee, we could have a catastrophic election result.
Catastrophic. It's one thing for a dummy like me to say something like that, but Steve Schmidt is reportedly the guy who pushed John McCain into picking Sarah Palin as McCain's running mate in the first place. Well, now Steve Schmidt says it is inconceivable that she could be elected, but the Republican Party might inexplicably nominate her anyway, and he says that would be a catastrophe for the party. Well, the Sarah Palin cheering section has responded now by, surprise, attacking Steve Schmidt. Talk show host Rush Limbaugh telling Greg Sargent at the Plum Line today, quote, I think it's time for the McCain crowd to acknowledge they are losers and pack it in. They've done enough damage to the Republican Party. Move aside and let a brighter, more principled, and more competent generation of people clean up the mess they helped create. A brighter, more principled, more competent new generation. Like Rush Limbaugh and Sarah Palin. Bright, principled, competent Rush Limbaugh and Sarah Palin. Don't let me interrupt you guys. This is the kind of fight that I'd sell popcorn for. And in actual, not metaphorical sports news today, the referees of the NBA, you might have heard, they are locked out. They're embroiled in a contract dispute with the league. The league has locked them out. And so as NBA preseason games get underway, the stripy shirt guys on the parquet are not the refs you are used to. They are replacements. And you know how in 7th grade, when you had a substitute math teacher, your whole class would sit backwards at your desks or steal all the chalk or tell the sub that actually your class got out 10 minutes earlier than it really did? Well, last night in the preseason opener between the Denver Nuggets and the Utah Jazz, the Nuggets decided to see what they could get away with due to the substitute refs. It was late in the first half, and a foul was committed against this player for the Nuggets. His name is Ronaldo Balkman. He's a forward, and although he's a very good player, he is not very good at shooting free throws. He makes them about 54% of the time. So Mr. Balkman gets fouled. Then the Nuggets call a timeout. And after the timeout, they send this guy to the free throw line, as if it was him who got fouled instead of Ronaldo Balkman. Balkman, remember, only makes his free throws 54% of the time. This guy is way better at it. His free throw percentage is almost 80%. So the Nuggets figured, hey, substitute refs. We'll swap in the other guy. They'll never notice. Well, the substitute refs totally noticed. They made Balkman take the free throws. He missed them both, and then the Nuggets went on to lose the game. The Nuggets coach said later, and I am quoting here, he said later, it works in high school. Direct quote. And finally, were he alive and immortal, Mahatma Gandhi would be 140 years old today. We all like to think, of course, that he would still be engaged in the work to which he dedicated his life, helping the poor, irritating imperialists, promoting peace, bringing attention to the world's injustices through a life of self-denial, asceticism, leadership, and civil disobedience. When you think Gandhi, you think hunger strikes, right? You think peaceful marches. You think $23,000 fountain pens. What? Yeah, Mont Blanc, the high-end writing instrument company, decided that for the occasion of Gandhi's birthday, they would start selling a commemorative $23,000 18-karat solid gold pen. Mont Blanc says it's only manufacturing 241 of these pens to recognize that Gandhi walked 241 miles in his Salt March in 1930, protesting unfair taxation by the British. The company made a donation to the Mahatma Gandhi Foundation upon launching the pen, and they are donating some proceeds from the sale of each pen to the foundation. They also gave one of these solid gold pens to Gandhi's great-grandson, who told reporters, quote, I can't bring myself to use it. The pen is solid gold. It has a saffron-colored mandarin garnet on the clip. The nib is rhodium-plated. The Associated Press also reports today that the pen comes packaged with a 26-foot-long golden thread that can be wound around the pen to invoke the spindle and the plain cotton that Gandhi used to weave plain cotton clothing. Except now it's like weaving out of gold. Gandhi would have loved that.